Another TikToker is in serious trouble, and this time, it's not just a ban or demonetization, it's prison. 9 years to be exact. It all started with a simple TikTok prank. Now, this 21-year-old is looking at serious time behind bars. The question is, was it really that bad, or is this the price of clout? Welcome back to my channel. Here, we break down the wildest and most controversial moments happening in the world of social media right now. And today, we're diving into the case of Heston James, a TikToker who made a career out of harmless pranks, until one of them landed him in one of the worst situations any influencer can find themselves in. Before we get into it, I need you to smash that like button, because it helps me out and lets me keep making these videos. Now, let's get into it. Heston James may be a name you haven't heard before, but his face probably won't be new to you. He's the kid behind a string of viral TikTok videos where he's dressed as a worker at places like Pep Boys, walking around in uniform and giving instructions to real employees, talking to customers, or even yelling at kids playing near a store. He did this at Chipotle, at a gas station, at a local auto repair shop, and according to his page, he had over 1.6 million followers hanging on every video he posted. But there's a twist. All these videos seem like well-planned jokes, like something out of a teen comedy movie. Except they weren't. These weren't scripted scenes with a film crew. They happened in real time at actual businesses without the staff or owners knowing what was coming. That raises two questions. Was this actually a prank, or was this a carefully crafted piece of content? And is there a difference? The thing about pranks is they're supposed to be good-natured jokes played on unsuspecting friends or family members. But somewhere along the way, that evolved into something more extreme. When you start pranking strangers, when you film it and put it online for clout, and when you do it repeatedly, it's no longer about having a laugh. It becomes content creation. In the weeks leading up to his arrest, Heston and his small crew had become somewhat notorious in the influencer space for doing things like showing up to big industry events uninvited, pretending to be award presenters, and even storming the stage. They also got banned from several venues and stores. And as a result, they started looking for bigger, more outrageous challenges. One of the craziest videos shows Heston and a friend approaching a woman who's washing her car. The person filming asks her if she knows what they're doing. She says no. Then they jump in and start taking over. The woman protests, confused and angry. But the person filming keeps recording and asking her if she wants to be part of the content. She refuses and tries to stop them, but the pair ignores her and continues recording. It's jarring and it's uncomfortable to watch, but it's also illegal. So why didn't anyone step in? In the world of influencer stunts, there's a strategy behind everything. Whether it's drawing attention to a brand, generating buzz for a product, or just getting views, it's rarely done on a whim. In one incident, he pretended to be a worker and managed to get into a restricted area at Chipotle, the restaurant. But after a few minutes, an employee asked him to leave. He complied, but it's obvious that he'd planned to stay longer. In another clip, he entered an auto repair shop and told everyone he was the owner. The staff laughed it off at first, but then he refused to leave. According to one employee, when he tried to talk to Heston, he responded, "I am the owner. You work for me." By now, Heston's actions are less funny and more alarming. In one of the most disturbing videos, Heston enters an auto repair shop and tells everyone he's there to pick up a car. When the manager asks him to wait outside, he goes past him and into the repair bay. While the manager confronts him, another man from his group crawls underneath a car that's being worked on. At this point, it's not a prank anymore. It's dangerous. And this isn't the only time he did something like this. In another incident, Heston brought a cardboard box and a pen. He pretended to write something on it and then placed it on the ground. A driver assumed it was an emergency and slammed on their brakes. Then he jumped out and screamed, "Beep, beep." Each video is worse than the last, and each one pushed the limits of what real harm could come from these pranks. So it shouldn't have been a surprise when the authorities stepped in. On July 25, 2025, Heston Cobb found himself in a situation he hadn't planned for. He was surrounded by police officers, handcuffed and charged with a slew of crimes. After months of investigation, the Arizona Police Department released details of their investigation into Heston's activities, specifically targeting his videos from March through July. The charges were serious. He was charged with 13 counts, including first-degree criminal trespass, 4 counts of third-degree burglary, 4 counts of criminal impersonation, disorderly conduct, and third-degree theft of services. If convicted of all counts, he faces up to 9 years and 8 months in prison and over $300,000 in fines. So what happens next? There have been countless cases of influencers getting into trouble, but most of them involve brands stepping in, pulling sponsorships or platforms banning certain content. Heston's case is different. He's facing criminal charges. His arrest came after multiple complaints from local businesses who felt threatened, harassed, and disrupted by Heston and his crew. Officers say that he was directly responsible for endangering workers and disrupting operations at numerous companies across the state. And it's not just about the damage to reputation or lost revenue. In the state of Arizona, criminal impersonation is a Class 1 misdemeanor, which means jail time, fines, or both. Burglary is a Class 3 felony, which could land Heston in prison for up to 7 years. And if prosecutors decide to pursue all counts, the judge has the discretion to hand down the maximum sentence for each count. For perspective, earlier this year, a man in Colorado got probation for throwing a smoothie at an election headquarters during the 2020 election. Heston's charges are far more serious, and the upcoming court date is a landmark event. As we wrap up this video, there's something important to consider. Like many influencers, Heston rose to fame through prank videos. His supporters argued that what he did was just a form of entertainment. But the line between entertainment and criminality is thin. In the US, a lot of crimes require intent, and while it's hard to argue that Heston had criminal intent, it's not impossible. Burglary, for instance, requires entering a property with the intent to commit a crime. Did he just want to disrupt operations, or was his goal to cause enough chaos to gain enough content for views? There's no clear answer, but that's what the courts will have to decide. This case is unprecedented. It's the first time a creator has been charged for stunt-based content, and the outcome could set precedents for other states. Whether Heston gets probation or prison time, it's clear that his actions have consequences. And while some see this as an extreme reaction, others say it's justified. On one hand, it's easy to dismiss his actions as harmless jokes gone wrong. After all, he wasn't armed, and he didn't hurt anyone physically. But on the other hand, he trespassed into restricted areas, pretended to be an employee, and even interfered with people at work. Moreover, this isn't an isolated incident. You may remember the infamous case of Vitaly Zdarovets, the Russian prankster who glued himself to a London bus in 2016 and was jailed for it, or the case of Sam Pepper, the YouTube prankster who stormed the stage at the 2014 MTV Video Music Awards and later faced backlash for faking a crowd fight at Comic-Con. These are cautionary tales about the dark side of internet fame. And now, Heston's case joins them. The fact is that Heston's arrest is a wake-up call for influencers and content creators everywhere. What works for one person may not work for another, and in this case, it led to serious charges. Whether you think it's fair or not, there are limits to what you can do in the name of content. So, what do you think? Is 9 years too harsh for Heston, or is it a wake-up call for reckless content creators? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want more real stories behind the internet's biggest scandals. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.